And welcome, Rooster Boosters, to Rooster Booster time. I'm the big guy, Scott Ferrara. Apparently, Jack Hyten doesn't like me. He almost drilled me with a ball, so that's why I kind of left there. But you got me over here at JFK Stadium in Hoboken, and you got our buddy, the Grand Poobah, Mike Terrazini, up in Albany. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. I'm in Excelsior. Like an idiot, I forgot my earbuds, so it'll be a little hard to hear you, but we should be fine.
I'm kind of torn here with the wind. It's hard to hear Mikey, but we're giving it a shot here. We'll see how long this goes. But what's going on is we have a nice game here. San Diego Legion's in the house. We're looking to get back on that winning side, and we're playing kind of in a little bit of weather. It's about probably 40 without the wind, probably 28, 25 with the wind chill. The wind, as we said before, is going from my left to my right, all the way across the field of play. Kicking battle is going to be big here, especially with a guy like Joe Peterson in the lineup for San Diego.
It looks like the snow is cleared down there. Is there any snow like in the stands or anything like that? You know, I know by me, we got hit with a bunch. How is it looking down in the city? Scott, could you hear me? So we're going to do the lineups, starting with San Diego Legion. We've got Nathan Sylvia at 1, Matt Molds at 2, Henkas Van Wyck at 3, Ben Mitchell at 4, Ben Garrett at 5, 6, Dan Pryor, 7, Michael Smith, and 8, Tevatia Timoloya. Oh, doing the lineups right now. Hold on.
Awesome.
So 9, Jack Higgins, 10, Will Hooley, 11, Matthias Freire, 12, Tian Lutz, 13, Thomas Morani, 14, Kayana Lloyd, 15, 14, and then 15 is Joe Peterson. So then the bench, you've got Pete Malcolm, Joe Walsh, Chris Bauman, Chris Robshaw, Ronan O'Regan, Nate Augsburger, Josh Thiel, and Marcus Talupa. So that is the San Diego Legion. For us, Rugby New York, Chance Wang-Lucy, Dylan Fawcett, and Chloe Tilamoa make up the front three. Nate Brakely and Charlie Hewitt are 4 and 5. Will Tucker, Brendan O'Connor, and Kara Pryor are your loose forwards. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Pryor brothers go at it in the front. Andy Ellis making his start at 9, Jack Hyten at 10, Ed Fidow at 11, Jason Emery at 12, Fossey at 13, Andrew Coe at 14, and Troy Lockyer at 15. Round out your starters. For a bench, you got Caleb Geiger, Nick Mayhew, Wilton Rabolo, John Grazik making his first, 23 for Rugby New York, Joe Basser, Conor McManus, Sam Windsor, and Quinn Nawadi. And so that rounds out our 23 for this week. So,
and real quick, there's already been a change to that lineup, Mikey. Sam Windsor is a healthy scratch, and Johnny Powers is coming back to get in the lineup after his completion of his HIA assessment from the hit a couple weeks ago. So Sam is getting a break today. Johnny Powers is in that other substitute slot.
Interesting. So, all right. Okay. Interesting thing. Powers is showing, how strong he was, if unfortunately he got that hit. I think this will definitely be a great challenge for him, and definitely a great challenge for Rugby New York overall. Our back line, I think, is looking strong. Jason Emery and Fossey at, 12 and 13. Andrew Coe, who I think is, up there to be, one of the, back players of the year with, his amazing tries and his pure speed has been great. So I think, our backs are definitely strong. It looks like with, San Diego, they're definitely holding back on some guys. You got Chris Bauman, strong rugger. Chris Robshaw and Nate Augsburger, who was the captain for, San Diego, on the bench. So I think they're looking, San Diego is looking definitely for a second half push to come in and try and win this against us.
And then we have head official Mike Lash.
Good to see you, man.
How are you, Mikey? So Mike Lash coming over to say hi. He's a friend of mine. I'm glad to see him in the middle today. I love the way he calls games. But yeah, we were watching Caleb Geiger and the Butcher throwing balls here. I kind of wanted to show you, Caleb back, another guy back in from a head injury. I think he went out the game after John Powers, so I'm glad these guys are cleared to play and in the lineup. I think today the matchup we want to see, right, is Kara Pryor versus Dan Pryor, right?
Yep. I definitely want to see the Pryor brothers, battle, one-on-one. Kara definitely definitely more of an offensive player than he is a defensive player. There's no mistake about that. But his defense is definitely picked up this year. So it'll be interesting to see if one of these the Pryor brothers tackling each other and hitting each other, maybe giving a little something, giving each other a little business in the ruck.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen. Speaking to Dougie Coyle about Karen and his brother, they did play, I believe, on 2 teams together in New Zealand professionally, and I believe they played against each other, but I couldn't remember what competition it was in. But I believe they said that they are not. They've done it before where they played against each other professionally. So first time in the MLR for it, though. I'm very excited. As far as your lineups, you were talking about the lineups for San Diego. I think they're coming all the way from the West Coast, all the way to the East Coast. They're playing in this kind of weather. They've, as far as I know, looking at their lineups in the past, they haven't really rested a lot of their starters. So I think this is that match where they feel like we can rest our starters. If we take the loss, we get some bonus points. The net change in points, the differential isn't as bad because it's not a West Coast team losing to a West Coast team. I mean, we have seen that before, Mikey, in Rooney lineups. We've seen it in pretty much every lineup. When you're crossing the country like that, sometimes you're going to shake up the lineup a little bit and maybe say, okay, if we take a loss and we got 2 bonus points, that's still a win for us.
Yeah, right now, as the standings are set, it looks like Rugby ATL is the top of the Eastern Conference with 20 points, Free Jacks with 19, and us with 15. Who knows after this weekend? Both Rugby ATL had that great win against Austin. Pick that win, thank you very much. And then New England had a squeaker against Old Glory, or not against Old Glory, sorry, against Toronto. They had a squeaker against Toronto. So, two of the leaders in the conference, getting wins this week. It will be important for us to get this win. NOLA is still, nipping on our heels, even though they're in 4th place, but, they got 11 points right now. So they are definitely still a threat for the top 3 contention. So yeah, even though this is an East Coast versus West Coast game, definitely we definitely need the win because we definitely need the points. And while yes, you said the point differential, overall won't be as great. It's still these early games, especially against these good teams, set the tone for the rest of the season. We're bouncing back from a tough win or a tough loss against New England, which I think we probably should have won, but we got bogged down in how we played. We got to come back. We got to bounce back and really set tone for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Jason Zimmerman, one of our number 1 fans. It's not so cold. It's not cold out here at all. I'm sitting right next to Jay. Like I said, for New Yorkers, it's not that cold. For a kid who played his college ball in Massachusetts, it's not that cold. For these San Diego guys, I think it might be a little cold. They're all wearing stiff jackets. And if you look at all the Rooney players right now, they're just kind of wearing windbreakers or their practice kit with a long shirt. They're not really wearing anything heavy, which is interesting. I think what you're going to see is a lot of centers crash the ball and go straight ahead. I think we're going to have a lack of kind of that extra pass or those looping passes in a match like today because of the wind. I'm telling you, it doesn't look like you really can't see it, but maybe if you could see the flag in the background over there, it's low, it's continuous wind, but then all of a sudden it gusts, almost like double kind of gusts, and they're very erratic. So we're going to have to make sure that our passes are crisp, they're low, they're getting to where they need to go, and they're short. We can't have those big looping passes. Honestly, I'm very excited with the lineup. I'm happy to see Troy back in the lineup as well at fullback. I think you're going to see less kicking from San Diego as far as offensively that you've seen in the past. And Troy, to his credit, has been great back there, except that sometimes, as our wings come up to play defense, they're just kicking in those open spaces and Troy can't cover the entire field. Nobody can, right? So I think we're going to see less of that with the way the wind's going and more of just, again, San Diego doing the same thing, crashing the ball. And I hope we're going to see some more pick and goes from our pack here. Because to me, I don't think we've utilized the pack on the offensive side of the ball as we should have, especially last week against New England. This is my opinion. I figure if it's not working out wide, crash the ball with the pack, work them down, grind the pace, keep the possession, and as you're resetting the ball, they're going to get annoyed. When you reset the next ball, they're going to get annoyed. And reset the next ball, they're going to get annoyed. And then all of a sudden, Brendan O'Connor breaks it for 15 and you reset it. And all of a sudden, San Diego keeps doing what? Backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up. And eventually you're just going to get frustrated and you're either going to get a penalty or you're going to have a break in the defense where you're finally going to break through. So I want to see a little bit more of that, but I'm not the coach, so I don't get to make those calls, Mikey.
Do you think, and we talked about it, San Diego's, they've definitely backloaded their team for the second half, it seems like. Do you think that this win, they'll use the win to their advantage come second half? Hopefully,
definitely.
Possibly get, that first half bad win, second half good win, or do you think they'll put it to our advantage? Because we know we've scored they've seen us score tries off of, kicks. Will they want us, to put us in the bad win in the second half?
I mean,
so what do you think?
I think whatever team is going to, when they pick the sides, they're going to want the good win in the second half, so that way they're going to have a strong second half. Honestly, I feel like you're not going to see many. You might see San Diego kick for points more than New York's going to do. Historically, as we've seen, New York really hasn't kicked for points unless they've had to, or things have been stagnant. And now, I don't know. I just see us playing more to score the try, less to score the 3 points on the kick for the penalty. As we talked about before, about 10 minutes ago, Jack Hyten was practicing kicking into this wind here on this side where the ball's going to come out and he's going to kick for touch. And, some of them were screwballs when they got hung up in the wind. Some of them were short and right out, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You're still getting that ground. It's out. You're getting the line out. But it's just, the timing of it. The good part about it is as you're kicking this way, with the way I'm facing, there's a flag right there, American flag right there. So my point is you should use that to your advantage if you're going to be kicking this way into touch. That way you can see, okay, it's not gusting, boom, kick it out. You know what I mean?
Oh, interesting. Nice. All right. Do you want to do predictions?
Yeah, let's do some predictions, and then I want to get to my seat. I actually have to use the bathroom. I've been here for quite a while and haven't used the bathroom, Mikey.
All right, so I think I have us. I believe in my Super Brew. I have Rugby New York by 3, and that's what I'm sticking to. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a close game. This is definitely a San Diego Legion team you don't want to mess with. They definitely are going to come out strong in the second half, and so I think it's going to be how strong we come out in the first half, and if we're able to hold them in the second. So hopefully we're able to play some great second half defense. And score a few tries in the second half as well, but I think it's going to be a close one. I think Rugby New York by 3.
I think you're reading my mind. I got Rugby New York by 3. I think it's going to be a close one. You have to remember, besides the last match we played in Las Vegas last year against them, which again I think we've talked about all the trials and tribulations they had week 1 last year with COVID and everything else, which again not their fault. I think they would have played better had they not had to move stadiums. I think they moved to 5 different stadiums in the span of the 2 weeks leading up to that match. So I think they've always been nail biters. They've always come down to close to the death. And I believe that was the first time we beat Legion actually last year head to head. So I think it's going to be tight. I'm going to say Rooney by 3. Jay right there is going by 2. You got Mike McCarthy and Mikey Petrie Peaches on the 1s and 2s up in the booth for the TRN. You have Alex Guyamo warning the sidelines. Our buddy Doug Coyle's here doing some interviews. So, wait on this week for Dougie Coyle interviews. I'm not sure who he has lined up yet. I'm pretty sure he has Kara Pryor, though, speaking about, the Pryor family and him playing against and with his brother. I think that's going to be a great one. And overall, we got a good day of rugby, man. I'm excited. It's not that cold. Got a really good crowd. I'm just excited to be home for rugby, man. It's awesome.
All right, yeah, it's looking good. I was asking you before I think you cut out. We got a bunch of snow up here. How's the snow looking like down there? Is it cleared up? Is it looking fine? What's it doing?
Yeah. So down here in Hoboken, there's I haven't really seen snow. Up by me, 90 minutes north, we got hit with 4 inches over the whole day yesterday. And as I was driving down, it was getting less and less. I know this morning there was a bunch of frost on the field, but because of the way the field's set up, the sun comes and hits it early around 9 o'clock. So it cleared the entire frosted field of the snow. So you're not going to have a wet pitch. You shouldn't have a wet ball. I was touching the grass before, checking it. It's not that wet. It hasn't retained the moisture. So I think you're just going to have a nice, clean game of rugby, and you're just going to have to play the win game. But other than that, fellas, ladies and gents, man, we got ourselves a rugby match in about 20 minutes. So I'm the big guy, Scott Farrar. That's Mike the Grand Poobah Parazzini. Let's go, Rooney, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
All right, let's go.